Hey everybody, it's Under My Cap and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own speed bridging training area. Have you ever been in that situation where you want to create a speed bridging thing or you want to learn how to speed bridge and you have to create a world, you have to get blocks, and then you have to set yourself to survival? Today I'm going to be showing you actually how to make an automated machine, so as I can show you here, cleans itself up every time you fail. So as you can see, if I speed bridge and then purposely fall off, you'll see that it displays a particle of where I last failed, and it also destroys all the blocks in my path. So you can also see if I did decide to place a whole bunch of blocks, not only on this layer as well, it will also remove those as well. So as you can see here, it gets rid of them, and it also displays a little particle effect to show that the blocks have been destroyed. Now it also uses a whole bunch of the commands that I've done in a whole bunch of other videos, so if you do want to have a little refresher before you learn this, how to make this, I do recommend strongly watching particle command videos, the play sound command videos, and the execute videos. They're really important, just because they help you have a little understanding of how to create all of these. So as you can see, there aren't actually a lot of command blocks for this tutorial. Now, this basically just merges a whole bunch of the commands I've done in the past. But as you can see, there are a few command blocks which rely on other command blocks. And yeah, so I'll quickly go through it. So first things first, we want to make an area. So I would strongly recommend getting a unique block which you like, that you don't want to use in a normal world a lot. So for example, I don't use a lot of, let's say, red concrete. So we can use that to show or create the flaw which kills the player. So what we want to do is we want to go into the command console and we want to use the /fill command. So let's use that, /fill, and then we want to do 3 titles and another 3 titles. Now, depending on the area you want to create, I would recommend making a longer one and a thinner, or a longer area, but with a thinner width, just because you don't really build sideways when you're speed bridging, you build outwards. So what I would do is I would go to the, well, depending on where you are positioned in the world, for me, my Z position is in front of me, but what I want to do is I want to set the blocks, let's say 20 in front, and I want to do 11 wide. Now the reason why I do an odd number is just because we want to have a middle area which the player can start on. It just looks a bit nicer. Then what we want to do is we also want to select the type of block we want to use. So I'm going to type in Minecraft Concrete. And after that, you want to press enter, and as you can see, we have our little selected area. Now, if you do want to add walls, I strongly recommend using the fill command as well to add walls. Basically, I just got the same command up which we used, got a different block, so let's use bricks, and then I just changed this to nothing, kept that, but I also did change the height. So let's do 5 blocks. Make sure that's S. So as you can see, we've got one wall, then I'm just going to do another wall here. Okay, so now that we've got that sorted out, let's start doing the commands. So to get the command block, what you want to do is you want to type in /give @s and command _block. Whoops. Now after you do this, you'll be given the command block, and we can also start creating the command. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to place a command block right here. And we're just going to start off with the first command. So what we're going to do is we want to test if the player is touching or the red block is beneath the player. So what we want to do is we want to type in /execute @, and because we're doing this for not multiplayer, just for one person, we're going to do @a. So execute @a if the block underneath the player is -1. So as I say in a lot of my videos, the 3 titles indicate the X, Y, and the Z axis. So by making a -1 in the Y axis, it means the block beneath the player. So execute @a if block this is red concrete. So as you can see, let's set this up quickly to test it. So as you can see, we have our test there, so it shows that I'm actually standing on the red concrete. So that's one of the main parts of this command, and basically once you've got the testing bit done, we're basically sorted for the rest of the video. So I'm going to fill this up, and now that we know that this is set up, we can add our other commands to it. So let's add a particle effect. Well, first, actually, let's make it so that it gets rid of the player if they're touching the block. So what we want to do is we want to make it so it's /kill at A. Oops. Make sure you also have redstone comparator as well, because you need that. So if I stand on the red, you'll notice that I die. And all my items go everywhere, which is a bit annoying, but as you can see, it's done what we want it to do. So now, obviously, we've got that section done, but we also want to add a little bit of noises and make it a little bit more, you know, a little bit more nicer. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little row coming out of this command block. And we could use chain, but for some reason my chain blocks aren't working at the moment. If they do work for you, you can use that, but now I'm just going to use the redstone here. But we're going to place a command block, and we're also going to do execute at A, or execute at A, run, and we're going to make a noise. So the noise I really like using is I really like using the noise of the door breaking, just because it makes it look like all the blocks are breaking. So basically to do this, you just go execute at A, execute at A, run, and then we're going to do play sound. And then after that, you want to type in door, and I'm going to do the zombie door, wooden door break. Now what you want to do is you want to also type in ambient and at A. So basically it's going to play the noise to everyone in the world, but because you're just using the world for yourself, it doesn't really matter. So now if we do jump onto the blocks again, I'm going to just chuck all of this here. And I also forgot this again, make sure you add your redstone comparator, because that's actually what tests if this can, or if the command's been executed. So I'm just going to move that there. Okay, so now if we jump on the block, you will hear the noise. So as you can see, we've copied a little bit of that there, but now we actually want to make it so that we can actually remove the blocks which the player places. So this is an issue with, like, when you're speed bridging. When you're speed bridging, you want to get rid of the blocks so that you can redo it. You don't want to have to try and build up again like this, and then try. You get it. You don't want to do that again. So with this, we're going to make it so it teleports you back, and you can just start doing it all over again very quickly. So basically, I just put a command block right here to the area, or next to the area which we made, and I basically just write in what we did before. So /fill, then we type in the titles, and then we also type in what we did. So I'm pretty sure we did 20 and 11, like that. And now this is the important part. So if we did fill it from here, we would actually fill the command block, so we'd completely remove the command block, and we would also completely wreck the walls and the floor, because we're filling the area with all of this in it. So what we want to do is we want to move the command block execution across. So how to do that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that the command block fills it from a different area. So not from the central point of the command block, but from another point next to it. So because of the way I'm positioned in the world, if I move across 1, it means that the value is going to go up by 1. So before you do this command, make sure you understand where you're placing your blocks. So I'm just going to do 1 across, 1 forwards, and 1 up. So as you can see, if I was the command block, 1 across, 1 forwards, oops, that didn't go well, and 1 up. So it means that it's going to get rid of all the area here, but it's only going to get rid of that. So we actually want to remove all the other layers. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to change this to, let's say, 5. And now that we've got that, it's going to cover this whole area. So if I turn this on to, if you did turn it on to always active and it did remove a little bit of your area, you can always improvise and just expand your area if you want. That's probably what I would do. But if it didn't do anything, that is a really good thing. The area was filled with the air and nothing happened. So now what I like to do is I like to keep on destroy, and destroy basically makes the items appear. So if I placed a block here, turn this on, you'd see that the little item comes out. And what I like to do is I like to add little particle effects, which I'll show you after this, which make it look like it's disappearing and breaking. But for now, I'm just going to keep it like that, and we are done with the block replacing bit. However, we do need to make it so it's automated, and basically all you have to do for that is just get your little comparator, some redstone. I apologize if this looks a bit messy now. This, and then just point it into your command block. So now if we, and also change it onto repeat. So now if we did happen to die again, and we had bricks here, whoops. Now if we happen to die and we had all these blocks here, you'll notice all the blocks break and the noise is also in sync. Now the next part of the command is of course the particle effects, because it makes it look so much better. Now as you can see, all these items are really annoying, and over time if you keep on dying like this, the particle or all the blocks will just accumulate and it looks really messy. So we're going to set up a little particle trail thing which also deletes all the blocks. So if we come over here and create a separate row like this, we're going to create a separate execution command which will remove all the items if they're touching a block. And to explain this, I'll just do the command. So we want to do /execute if block beneath is red concrete, and then we want to do, so the first thing you need to do is execute at E. So basically that means at entity, and we want to change it to type equals item. So this means that the command is only going to be executed at the item and not the player. Then we want to type in run, we want to do if, we want to do execute at E type equals item if block beneath it is red concrete. Now after you type this in, you also want to do the next command, which is run. So what we want to do is we want to do run, and we're going to add a particle to it just to make it look like it's disappearing. So what I like to do is I like to do the poof command, so run particle, and it just looks like it's disappearing, or like a little magic puff. I also like to do 3 titles, and then you also want to put 3 zeros, and I like to do 0.3 for each of them. Now this may seem a bit confusing, but if you do watch the videos which I've produced, it makes your life a whole bunch easier, just because you understand what each bit of the command is. We do this. And what I like to do is I like to give it a little bit of time for it to destroy the items. So I give it about 3 of these ticks, and then I go over here and do the kill command. However, I do change it to at E type equals item. Now we're going to turn this on to always active. Now as you can see, we had the particle effect, but they've all disappeared. So if I die, you'll notice the item has a big particle effect and it also looks like it's disappearing. So if I have a whole bunch of these, whoops, well, I'll just chuck them all over this. You'll see that they'll all have the particle effect, but they'll all disappear afterwards, which is really, really cool. Now the final thing we want to do is we will also want to add a cool thing to show where you last died. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to get this command block here, which executes if the player is on the red concrete. And we're just going to go to the end of it and go run, and we're going to do the particle command. Now, why am I doing on this one, you're probably wondering, and it's because this is the only command block testing for the player on the block. If I did have 2 of them, sometimes one of them might pick it up faster than the other one, and it messes it up a bit. Sometimes they won't execute a redstone signal, sometimes they do. But let's do this, and we'll change it up a bit and do flame. Now we do the 3 titles, because this is going to do it at the player. And the only different thing we're going to do is, instead of doing just all zeros or 0.3, I'm going to do 0, a 10, and a 0. And then change the speed to 0, count 100 this time, and force. So the reason why I did a lot was because we want to make it obvious to the player that that's where they finished, and we also want to make a massive line in the air to show where they did hit the ground. So as you can see, if I am going across and I decided to fall off accidentally, so if I did this and went up, you'll see the little particle effect pop up. Now, different particles do have different times. Flame is one of the faster ones, but if you did want a one which lasts a bit longer, I would recommend End Rod, as shown in the one I did over there before. But yeah, this is just as good. And obviously before I said if you did, now in the last one I showed you over there as well, on the floor I purposely made it so I couldn't place blocks on it. Now if you do want to do that, it's really simple. All you need to do is just copy this command block like this, and all you have to do is click Control and your picking button. So as you can see, I've got these, and they hold the MBT. And I just want to make it go, I just want to change it to that, and then I also want to just change this to 0 and keep the same. So as you can see, this is, whoops. Okay, so I accidentally did stuff that up just then. Not to worry though. But basically you just want to put this command in and make sure you don't destroy other blocks, so just double check. But you'll notice that I can't actually place blocks when this is on. As you can see, if I do place blocks on the floor, they will get broken. So this is a good idea if you want to make it so that you have to be in the air, and that you can't do this sort of stuff. But it's really, really cool, and yeah, that's basically how you make your own speed bridging slash whatever you call it. But yeah, so that's basically how you do it. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as the last one I showed you over there. However, you can add your own decorations, your own little area, and you can also make your area a whole bunch more bigger. So as you can see, this one here has a whole bunch more space. And yeah, so that's basically how you do it. If you do want me to do more videos like this, please make sure to leave a comment in the description as well. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. For some reason, my character is frozen at the moment, so oh no, doesn't matter. Socials are in the description below, and I've also added a whole playlist with the particle command, the play sound command, and all of those commands if you want to familiarize yourself, just in case next time you watch my video, I do a video like this. But yeah, so that's basically it. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. See ya!